After 48 teams and 39 days of football, we're finally down to two. Spain and Argentina will play the World Cup final on Sunday, July 19th at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Let's zoom out for a second, in case you haven't been following closely. Just a few days ago, the semifinals had 4 teams left: France, Argentina, Spain, and England. Remarkably, the top 4 ranked teams in the entire world, all in the same round. Spain beat France 2-0 in the first semifinal. Then Argentina and England played an absolute thriller, with Argentina scoring twice in the last 10 minutes to win 2-1. So out of those 4 giants, 2 survived. That's your final. And here's something worth knowing before we go any further, because it adds a layer most casual viewers miss. Spain and Argentina share more than a final. They share a language and a deep historical connection. Spain colonized what is now Argentina centuries ago, which is why Argentina speaks Spanish today. And on top of that, waves of Spanish immigrants moved to Argentina in the early 20th century, looking for a better life. So millions of Argentines can trace family roots straight back to Spain. So this isn't just 2 random countries meeting for a trophy. There's a real centuries-old thread connecting them, which makes Sunday feel a little more personal than your average final. In this video, we're covering everything you need going into Sunday, how each team actually got here, the history and numbers behind both sides, and some genuinely wild details about this final you probably haven't heard yet, including something that has never once happened in 96 years of World Cups. We'll also touch on Saturday's third-place match, which matters a lot less, but still means something to the 2 teams playing it. Let's start with the bigger picture. Who was even left standing before we got here? Let's start with Spain. If you're new to football, here's the quick version. Spain has had the best defense in this tournament. Full stop. Through 6 matches, they've conceded exactly 1 goal. The rest have all been clean sheets. On top of that, they arrived at this World Cup unbeaten in 36 competitive matches in a row, and they're the reigning European champions. This is only the 2nd World Cup final in Spain's history. Their first title came in 2010. That's their only star right now. If they win on Sunday, they'd be adding their 2nd. Now, Argentina, and their story to get here is a lot more debated. On the pitch, they've been chaos with a happy ending, over and over. Extra time to get past Switzerland in the quarterfinals, a comeback against England in the semifinal, and before that, they nearly went out to both Cape Verde and Egypt before scoring late in each game. This is their 6th straight World Cup semifinal. But here's the part that's actually become a real talking point in the football world. Multiple outlets have pointed out that Argentina faced, on average, the lowest ranked set of opponents of any World Cup semifinalists since FIFA's current ranking system began in 1994. Before playing England in the semifinal, they hadn't faced a single team ranked in the world's top 15. That's genuinely unusual for a team going this deep. It's added fuel to a wider debate that's followed Argentina through this tournament, including Egypt's coach publicly accusing officials of favoring them after a controversial exit, and comparisons between a tackle Messi made that went unpunished and the red card that a US player received for something similar. To be clear, none of this proves anything was rigged. Most of it is disputed, debatable refereeing calls, not confirmed wrongdoing. But it's a real conversation that's been following this team all tournament, and it's fair to mention it going into the final. Now, about those stars on the shirt, Argentina already carries 3 of them: 1978, 1986, and their most recent title in 2022. If they win on Sunday, that becomes 4. That would pull them level with Germany and Italy for 2nd most World Cup titles in history, with only Brazil's 5 still ahead of them. On top of that, winning back-to-back World Cups is something no country has managed since Brazil did it in 1958 and 1962. That's over 60 years without a repeat champion. And looming over all of it is Lionel Messi, widely expected to be playing in his final World Cup, chasing a 2nd title to sit alongside Pelé as the only players to lift the trophy twice. So going into Sunday, Spain, with the best defense of the tournament, 1 star already on the shirt, and a shot at a 2nd. Argentina, the champions who keep surviving, already wearing 3 stars, 1 win away from a 4th, and a path here that's raised real questions. There's no favorite in this one, at least not from us. That part's entirely up to whoever's watching. Now let's get into the stuff that makes this final genuinely different. First, the ball. Every World Cup final since 2006 has had its own specially designed match ball, and this year is no exception. It's called the Try-On-Da Final, recolored in gold, black, and red, with the names of all the host cities printed on it. One correction worth making though, it's not exclusive to Sunday. This same gold ball has actually been in play since the semifinals, and it'll be used again in Saturday's third place match too. So technically, it's the ball of the whole final stretch of the tournament, not just the final itself. It's the 6th special final stage ball in World Cup history. Next, the stadium. The final is being played at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, except officially it isn't. FIFA has a rule banning stadium names tied to non-official sponsors, so for the entire tournament, MetLife Stadium has been referred to as New York, New Jersey Stadium. Same building, different name, purely for marketing reasons. Now, walking through the day itself. About 90 minutes before kickoff, there's a pre-match ceremony featuring Tom Cruise, Robbie Williams, and a few other names, and Jennifer Hudson performing a special rendition of the US national anthem right before the players walk out. Then, the genuinely historic part. For the very first time in 96 years of World Cups, this final is getting a halftime show, not a pre-match ceremony. An actual performance in the middle of the match itself, styled after the Super Bowl. It's scheduled to run about 11 minutes, time to fit inside football's regular 15-minute halftime break so it doesn't delay the game. The lineup includes Justin Bieber, Madonna, Shakira, and BTS as co-headliners, along with Burna Boy, Coldplay, an orchestra conductor, a children's choir from Staten Island, and, somehow, the Muppets. It's curated by Coldplay's Chris Martin, and the whole thing is raising money for a FIFA education charity. Whether football actually needed a Super Bowl-style halftime show is its own debate. Traditionalists aren't thrilled, but there's no debating it's a first. And if you're curious just how big a deal this single match has become, some tickets have reportedly been listed for over $30,000. There's also a public watch party planned for around 50,000 people in New York's Central Park, with giant screens showing the match live. So, beyond the football itself, Sunday is shaping up to be one of the biggest single-day sports and entertainment events this country has ever hosted. One more game before the final, and it matters a lot less. But it's not nothing. On Saturday, July 18th, France and England play for third place at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Both of these teams were 90 minutes from the final and lost. France to Spain, England to Argentina. So this is essentially the game nobody wants to play. Players are usually running on fumes and disappointment at this stage. Still, it's a real medal, a real result, and for a country that hasn't lifted a trophy in a while, even third place carries some weight. So here's the whole picture heading into this final weekend. Saturday, France against England, fighting for bronze in Miami. Sunday, Spain against Argentina, fighting for the World Cup itself in New Jersey, complete with a history-making halftime show. After 39 days and 48 teams, it comes down to this. 2 teams, 1 trophy, and depending on which side of this final you're rooting for, either the end of a very long wait or the start of something almost nobody in football history has ever pulled off. So tell me, who are you picking to win it on Sunday, and why? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your case either way. Enjoy the final.